Have you ever trusted someone so deeply, only to feel broken when they didn't value it? Why do people who seem kind and close suddenly change? And why does it hurt the most when the person who breaks your trust is the one you believed would never do it? Imagine this. A girl shares her secrets with her best friend. She laughs, cries, and opens her heart fully. But one day, she hears those same secrets from someone else. Her heart sinks. It wasn't just the betrayal of trust. It was the feeling of being exposed, fooled, and left alone. We all go through something like this. And every time it happens, a part of us becomes more closed, more careful, more afraid. Before we go ahead, welcome to Wisdom Woven, where we share deep truths inspired by Buddhist wisdom in the simplest way possible. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of viewers subscribe. If you find value in what we share, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It really means a lot, and it helps us continue bringing peaceful, powerful content to you. Now let's begin. Buddha once said, "Trust is not something that should be given blindly." In fact, he encouraged people to question everything, even his own words. He believed that truth should come from direct understanding, not from assumptions or emotions. But in our daily life, we often trust people just because they sound sweet, act kind, or look honest. And when they disappoint us, we blame them, without realizing that maybe we trusted too quickly. This isn't about hating people. This is about protecting your peace. If a person is not careful with their own words, how can they be careful with your heart? If someone keeps changing their behavior depending on who they're around, can you really trust them? Buddhism teaches us to look beyond the surface. Trust should be like a plant, watered slowly with time, not flooded in a single day. This video will help you see clearly, not with anger, but with wisdom. Keep watching. The roots of betrayal, Buddhist wisdom on false appearances. Sit quietly and listen closely, not with the ears, but with your heart. You've been hurt before, haven't you? Someone you trusted, they smiled with their face, but their heart was somewhere else. You believed in them. You believed their words. But something felt wrong, and eventually the truth showed up painfully like a wound you didn't see coming. Now you wonder, how did I not see it? How did I miss the signs? This is where betrayal begins, not in their actions, but in your hope. You wanted to see the good, so you ignore the cracks. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young monk who came to a wise Zen master and said, "Master, I trusted a man in the village who came every day with gifts and kindness. But yesterday, I saw him steal from the temple. My heart is broken. Why would he do that?" The Zen master smiled gently and said, "He wore a beautiful robe of kindness, but his intentions were stitched with threads of greed." You saw the robe, not the threads. Most people wear robes. They wear smiles, words, and gestures that look beautiful. But if you look carefully, through silence, through time, through awareness, you'll start to see the stitches. Some people are stitched with care. Others are stitched with self-interest. The problem is, we don't give it time. We trust too soon, and then we suffer. Buddhism teaches us something very important here. It says, don't trust the surface. Trust what stays when nothing is given. In simple words, don't just believe what people show when things are easy. Watch how they behave when they get nothing from you. If a person is kind when you are giving, but cold when you are silent, that's not love, that's transaction. If someone listens only when they need you, but disappears when you need them, that's not friendship, that's convenience. Let's go deeper. The Buddha told a story about a man who believed a snake was his friend. The snake never bit him, always curled beside him. The man thought, this snake is different. But one day, the man was tired and fell asleep. And the snake, out of its true nature, bit him. Not because it hated him, not because it wanted to hurt him, but because a snake will always be a snake. The lesson? Some people can act sweet for years, but when their nature reveals itself, they act according to it. It's not always about your behavior. It's about theirs. So what can we do? Live in fear? Never open up to anyone again? No, we must learn the art of slow trust. Buddha said, test people like gold is tested in fire. Do they stay true when things are difficult? Do they remain kind when you don't agree with them? Do they stand beside you when no one is watching? Betrayal doesn't come suddenly. It comes in soft steps, in ignored signs, in words that don't match actions. If you listen carefully, you'll see the heart always knows. But the mind, in its hope, often closes its eyes. Let's be honest. You don't want to live with walls around you. You want to feel safe, loved, understood. But real safety doesn't come from trusting everyone. It comes from learning to observe first. Trust is not a right others should have automatically. It is a responsibility that they must earn. A lotus doesn't open for every drop of sunlight. It waits. It waits for the right warmth, the right stillness, the right time. You too must be like the lotus. Wait. Observe. Feel. Do not be bitter. Bitterness is a poison you drink, hoping it hurts the other. Instead, be calm. Smile not because you trust them, but because you trust yourself. And how do you know whom to trust? Buddha said, one whose actions match their silence, one who speaks less but listens more, one who gives without need, one who stands with you when the world walks away. That is the one who is worth your trust. Now breathe. You may remember someone right now, someone who hurt you. Let them go, not with hate, but with understanding. They were simply wearing a robe. You saw the robe. Now you've seen the threads. That's growth. Growth is not about closing your heart. It's about opening your eyes. You can still love. You can still connect. But now with wisdom. Now with patience. Now with clarity. So the next time someone comes into your life and they speak sweetly and act kindly, don't rush. Let time be your mirror. Let silence be your teacher. Let their patterns be your guide. And remember, a Zen Master once said, the one who says, trust me too soon, is the one who must be tested the most. Trust slowly. Trust wisely. Trust only when you have truly seen. And until then, stay still, stay silent, and stay awake. Attachment in expectations, seeds of disappointment. Sit down. Breathe. Listen closely. When someone hurts you, what hurts more? Their action or your expectation? Many people say, I trusted him, or I never thought she would do this. But the pain isn't always from what they did. The pain often comes from what you expected them to do. This is where the problem begins. We don't just meet people. We attach stories to them. This person will never lie. She will always be there for me. He will never leave me. They will care as much as I do. But where do these promises come from? Do they say these things clearly? Or do we just assume them based on small words or kind gestures? This is the trap of attachment. We don't see people as they are. We see them as we want them to be. A Zen Master once said, when you hold a cup too tight, you spill the tea. What he meant was, when you hold on to something too hard, it often slips away. That's what attachment does. It tries to hold too tightly, and then it hurts when the grip fails. You must understand this deeply. Attachment is not love. Attachment says, you are mine, and I need you to behave this way. Love says, you are free, and I still care for you, whether you stay or not. Now look around your life. Are you angry with someone because they changed? Are you sad because they didn't meet your hopes? Are you broken because they didn't give what you expected? Then sit with this truth. You gave your peace to your expectations. And that is where suffering begins. Buddha said, the root of suffering is attachment. He didn't say people are the problem. He said our clinging to them is. Why do we expect someone to always reply quickly, always support us, always speak the truth? Is it because they promised? Or is it because we hoped they would? Expectation builds an invisible wall. The moment someone doesn't do what we imagined, we feel cheated. But the truth is, they never signed that invisible contract. They're living their life while we are stuck in our thoughts. This is how disappointment grows. Not from others, but from within. The seed is inside us. And we water it with imagination, with stories we should have, could have, and why didn't they? Let me tell you a small story. A man used to go to the same tea shop every morning. The owner always smiled and gave him a free extra biscuit. This went on for 6 months. One day, the owner gave only one biscuit. The man got angry. "Where's my extra biscuit?" he asked. The owner said gently, "That was a gift, not a rule." This is how we confuse kindness with a promise. We turn someone's free act into a responsibility. And when they stop, we feel betrayed. But they never promised in the first place. This is attachment. And attachment brings pain. But what's the solution? It is not becoming cold. It is not hating people. It is not isolating yourself. It is simply this: stay awake. When you meet someone, appreciate them. But don't attach a story. Don't expect their words to become a law of life. Don't turn gestures into obligations. See clearly. If they give, be grateful. If they change, let them. If they stay, appreciate. If they leave, accept. This is freedom. You must also learn to give love without asking anything in return. Not because you are weak, but because your peace matters more than your expectations. You can be kind without needing the world to be kind back. You can speak the truth without needing everyone else to do the same. You can care without needing constant care in return. This is inner strength. Buddhism does not teach that trust is bad. It teaches that blind trust, born from attachment and expectation, is dangerous. Be mindful. When you feel upset with someone, ask yourself, did they truly break a promise, or did I create that promise in my mind? This question can heal your heart faster than 100 apologies. Also, stop keeping score. I did this for him. He didn't do the same. I helped her, but she didn't help me. This is a mind full of contracts. Love doesn't keep receipts. Peace doesn't come from balance. Peace comes from freedom. You are not here to keep people in check. You are here to keep your own heart in balance. Let others be as they are. Let their actions show who they are, not who you thought they were. Observe. Don't attach quickly. Don't trust based on soft words or temporary kindness. Let trust build like stone, slowly, through time, action, and truth. Not through stories your heart writes too soon. So today, reflect. Who are you holding on to? What expectations are you silently placing on someone? Let go. Let them be. And most of all, let yourself be free. You will find that the less you expect, the lighter your heart feels. And from that space, you will finally see people clearly, without anger, without pain, without illusions. That is the way of peace. That is the way of Zen. The mask people wear, seeing beyond social faces. Sit down quietly, take a deep breath. Let us speak today about something that affects every heart, the mask that people wear. In life, you meet many faces, but very few of them are true. Most people wear masks, not to hide from you, but to protect themselves, to gain something, or to fit into the world. They smile when they feel sad. They agree even when they disagree. They show love, sometimes not because they feel it, but because they want something back. This is not evil. It is just fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of being judged. Fear of not being accepted. But the problem comes when you trust the mask instead of the person. In the market, you see a man selling apples. From outside, they look red and juicy. But when you take one home and cut it, it's brown inside, soft, spoiled. You feel cheated. But remember, the apple never told you it was fresh. You just believe what you saw. People are like that too. When someone speaks gently, we think they are kind. When someone gives us gifts, we think they care. When someone listens to our problems, we think they understand us. But kindness, care, and understanding are not just actions. They are intentions. And the intention is often hidden, like the seed deep inside the fruit. Not everyone shows their real seed. Some only show the sweet surface. Buddha taught us, be mindful of appearances, for they are often the beginning of delusion. In this world, many people wear a beautiful smile. But behind it, there is calculation. Some with a face of friend, but inside, there is jealousy. Some act helpful, but only until their work is done. Some speak words of love, but they carry poison in their silence. Do not become bitter by hearing this. Just become wiser. A Zen monk once told a story. A crow sat on the branch of a tree. A rabbit saw the crow and asked, "Why do you sit so silently every day?" The crow replied, "I observe." The rabbit said, "That sounds boring." The crow replied again, "It saves me from getting caught in traps." The rabbit laughed and ran off. A few minutes later, a hunter caught the rabbit in a net. The crow, still sitting, flew away. This story tells us, when you observe more and speak less, you see what others miss. You see the little changes in a person's tone, the hesitation in their smile, the cracks in their words. Those are not mistakes. Those are clues. Clues that the mask is starting to slip. Now, what can we do when we know people wear masks? First, do not try to rip the mask off. That only causes pain to them and to you. Instead, step back. Watch their actions over time. Time is the best mirror. It reveals what the face tries to hide. Second, do not judge too quickly. A person who looks proud may be hiding deep fear. A person who talks too much may be afraid of silence. A person who always jokes might be crying inside. Look deeper, but do not lose your balance. See clearly, but don't carry the burden of fixing anyone. Third, protect your peace. Do not give your heart too fast. Let others earn your trust, slowly, honestly. Let them show you not just their good side, but their real side. Fourth, remember, you too have worn masks. We all have. To survive, to belong, to feel loved. Forgive others gently, just as you would want to be forgiven. A wise heart is soft, but not foolish. It gives love, but not without awareness. It helps, but not at the cost of its own peace. Buddha didn't ask us to hate the world. He asked us to understand it. He didn't say everyone is fake. He said, know what is real. Sometimes the kindest person turns cruel when they feel threatened. Sometimes the one who praises you today might turn against you tomorrow. That's not always because they are bad. It's because they are still confused, still learning, still wearing layers to protect their wounded heart. So stay calm. Don't react too quickly when someone shows a different face. Don't feel shocked. Don't cry too long. Instead, bow to the truth. Let the truth teach you. And walk on. A Zen Master once said, many people walk into your life with flowers in their hand, but only few will sit in your silence when you're broken. Those are the ones worth your trust. The rest smile, bow, and let them go. And how we spot those few? They don't just speak, they show up. They don't just praise you, they stay when you're quiet. They don't just love the good parts, they accept your dark moments too. Real people don't wear masks for too long. They get tired of pretending. Their truth leaks out through actions, choices, and presence. Stay patient, and you will see who is who. In the end, you don't need to stop trusting everyone. You just need to start trusting slowly, not with blind faith, but with quiet awareness. Look into someone's eyes, but also look into their silence. Feel their words, but also feel the space between the words. Watch their hands, their timing, their presence in your bad days. There, you'll know whether the face is real or just another mask. Let this part be your mirror too. Ask yourself, do you also wear masks sometimes? If yes, it's okay. But start peeling it gently. Let your true face breathe. Let people see you, not the version you think they want. Because in truth, we can only recognize real faces when we're not hiding behind our own. And so, the path continues. Walk slowly, walk wisely, and watch carefully, for not every smile means peace, and not every hand you hold means safety. The face may lie, but the energy never does. When kindness is manipulation, recognizing hidden motives. My child, let me tell you something quietly. Not all who smile are your friends. Not all who speak sweet words mean them. Sometimes, the ones who pretend to care the most are the ones who harm you the most. And the strange thing is, they do it without raising their voice, without showing their teeth, and without ever looking like an enemy. Sit down, breathe deeply, and listen. Have you ever noticed how some people are extra kind in the beginning? They flatter you, agree with you, do small favors for you, and make you feel special. At first, you feel lucky, like you found someone rare. But then slowly you begin to feel confused. They start expecting things. They make you feel guilty when you say no. They become upset when you don't give attention. And worst of all, they make you feel like you're the wrong one. This, my dear, is not kindness. This is control hidden under a smile. This is manipulation dressed in politeness. The Buddha said, a person is not wise because they speak much. A person is wise if they are kind, truthful, and without motive. In life, many act kind, but not because they care. They act kind because they want something: your time, your trust, your support, your silence, your energy. And once they get it, their face changes. It begins with small things. You may notice they only talk when they need help, or they only praise you when you're useful to them. They say sorry but repeat the same mistake. They forget your efforts but remember your mistakes. They make you feel that you owe them something, even when you don't. This is how manipulation works. It's never loud. It's always soft, quiet, and clever. In the teachings of Buddhism, there's a word, upaya, which means skillful means. A person can use their words and actions to either heal or to control. A person can help you grow or trap you in their story. To know the difference, you must be awake. A Zen student once asked the master, "How do I know someone is real?" The master replied, "Give them nothing. Watch how they act. True kindness expects nothing in return. It flows without planning. It gives without counting. But manipulation needs a reward. It needs you to give something back. The danger lies in not knowing the difference. You may feel it in your body. When you're around someone who truly cares, you feel light, calm, and safe. You can breathe deeply. You can be yourself. But when you're around someone who manipulates you with kindness, you feel tired. You feel like you have to perform. You're scared to say the wrong thing. You walk on eggshells. You overthink everything you say. And when you leave them, your heart feels heavy, but you don't know why. This is not love. This is not care. This is emotional pressure. People who manipulate are often very charming. They know how to behave in front of others. They know when to smile, when to say sorry, when to cry, when to play the victim. But inside, they are not looking at you. They're looking at what they can get from you. In Buddhism, we are taught to look with awareness, to see what is real, not just what appears nice. Ask yourself this: do they make you feel respected or just needed? Do they accept your no, or do they make you feel guilty? Do they listen to your silence, or only your agreement? Kindness is not measured by how much someone does for you, but by how they treat you when you have nothing to offer. And if someone gives only to take, that is not giving. That is a trade. In a Buddhist path, we walk with clarity. We do not hate those who manipulate us. We simply step back, learn the lesson, and protect our peace. The Buddha never said, "Hate the liar." He said, "Be wise enough to not become a fool." So what can you do? First, slow down. Don't be impressed by quick kindness. Time reveals all truths. Second, observe. Watch their behavior when you're not useful to them. Third, trust your feeling. If your heart feels unsafe, there's a reason. And finally, speak less, watch more. People show their truth if you stop explaining yourself and start observing them. You don't need to fight anyone. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to beg for real care. The right people won't need to trick you. They will not sugarcoat their behavior. They will not trap you in confusion. Their kindness will feel like fresh air, never heavy, never tricky, never too sweet. A Zen Master once said, "If someone's love makes you feel small, it's not love. If someone's kindness makes you feel guilty, it's not kindness." You are not here to be fooled. You are not here to be drained. You are here to be peaceful, aware, and free. Let others play their games. You sit silently, breathe deeply, and walk wisely. And remember, true kindness doesn't come with strings. Real love doesn't play mind games. And peace comes not by trusting everyone, but by trusting your own awareness. Stay still. Stay kind. Stay awake. Mindfulness in relationships. Observing without blind faith. Come sit with me. Let us talk about trust, not in stories, but in silence. Not the silence where nothing is spoken, but the silence where everything is seen. Today, I want to share something with you. Not to make you suspicious of the world, but to help you stop living with closed eyes. In life, many people walk into your space with smiles. They say sweet words, show kind gestures, and even cry with you. But not every smile is honest. Not every tear is true. And not every kind word is without motive. This is not said with bitterness. It is said with clarity. Buddha never said, "Don't trust anyone." But he also never said, "Trust everyone." What he taught was mindfulness, a clear seeing, a gentle awareness, a space between what happens and how you respond. And that is what we must bring into our relationships. When someone comes to you, observe. Do they only speak when they want something? Do they treat others differently than they treat you? Do they gossip about others to you and then speak sweetly in front of them? These are not questions for judgment. These are questions for awareness. If a person can talk badly about another behind their back, know that they might do the same to you. If someone's energy only shows up when you have something to give, but disappears when you need something, observe that pattern. But let me tell you something important. Don't rush to call them fake. Don't throw labels. Just breathe and see. Because most people are not evil. They're just unconscious. They don't even realize how they are acting. They're lost in their own desires, pain, and stories. But it's not your job to fix them. It's your job to not get trapped by them. This is where mindfulness comes in. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not just meditation with eyes closed. It's awareness with eyes open, in daily life, in conversations, in the way someone's voice shifts, in how their energy feels, in what they say and what they don't. You're not being paranoid. You're being conscious. There's a saying, when you see clearly, you don't need to react. You respond. This is power. Not the power to control others, but the power to protect your peace. Some people will call you cold for being quiet. Some will call you distant for not opening up too fast. Let them talk. The truth is, you're simply not rushing into illusions anymore. You're giving people time to show who they really are. You are not avoiding connection. You are deepening it by making it real. Trust is a sacred gift, not something to throw at every passing person. Would you hand your house keys to every guest who smiles at you? Then why hand over your heart so easily? Mindfulness teaches us to listen, not just to words, but to energy. When someone says, I care, but your heart feels tense around them, listen to that feeling. When someone promises loyalty, but avoids responsibility, observe, not angrily, but clearly. You don't have to accuse anyone. You just have to see. There is no need to create drama. Silence is more powerful than shouting. Distance is more healing than revenge. Sometimes, people test your boundaries not because they are cruel, but because they don't have their own. They don't know what is respectful or hurtful unless you show them. And you don't have to teach them with lectures, just with your presence, your limits, your quiet stepping away when things don't feel right. You don't owe anyone access to your soul. Trust must be earned, not demanded. And it's not earned by grand gestures. It's earned in how someone shows up when things aren't easy. It's shown in whether they can sit with your silence or only love your spotlight. Some people only want to be around you when you shine. But a mindful heart knows the real ones are those who walk beside you in darkness. Not because they need you, but because they care. You don't have to test people with tricks. Life already does that. People reveal themselves over time. Just stay present, stay quiet, and stay awake. If someone lies once, and you forgive them, that's kindness. If they lie again, and you excuse them again, that's blindness. Mindfulness helps you draw the line, not from ego, but from wisdom. Trust is not destroyed by betrayal. It is destroyed by ignoring the signs that led to betrayal. So today, I invite you to do one thing: slow down. When you meet someone, breathe. Observe how you feel. Watch how they treat time, truth, and people who can't give them anything. Don't rush to decide if they're good or bad. Just stay still and see. And slowly, very slowly, your heart will start recognizing what your mind often misses. You are not hard-hearted for protecting yourself. You are not rude for walking away from drama. You are simply practicing a deeper love for your own peace, your own truth, your own inner space. And once you live like this, you will not fear people anymore, because you no longer give them power to destroy you. You see them as they are, and accept what they can offer and what they cannot. This is the middle path Buddha spoke of. Not blind trust, not blind doubt, just clear seeing. So walk slowly, speak less, listen deeply, and trust your own awareness more than any sweet word. This is how you stay safe, not behind walls, but behind wisdom. And this, my dear one, is how you walk in the world, without losing yourself in it. Breathe now, smile gently, and know, you don't have to trust everyone. You only need to trust the truth. The power of inner clarity, trusting yourself first. Listen carefully. When the world becomes confusing, when people say one thing and do another, when promises are broken and you don't know whom to believe anymore, there's only one thing you must do. Go inward. Yes, the noise outside is loud. People will pretend. They will act like they care. They will offer their words like honey, but some of them carry poison beneath their smile. This is not a reason to hate them. This is a reason to become clear inside. Because when your mind is clear, your heart becomes strong. And when your heart is strong, no one can mislead you. Inner clarity also teaches you when you're not being honest with yourself. Sometimes we lie to ourselves just to feel loved. We stay in places that hurt because we're scared of being alone. We trust people who are not trustworthy because the idea of starting over feels harder than the pain we're in. But clear mind doesn't let you hide. It shows you where you're avoiding the truth. It gently pushes you to be brave. It whispers, you deserve better. In Buddhism, clarity is not something that comes from outside. It is a result of stillness, observation, and patience. You don't have to meditate for years. Just begin by sitting quietly for 5 minutes every day. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Don't judge the feeling. Don't run from it. Just notice. With time, your awareness grows. You start seeing patterns. How certain people always leave you feeling empty. How you always explain your worth to someone who never listens. How you ignore your inner voice just to keep a connection alive. That's where real change begins. You no longer chase. You no longer panic. You no longer try to fix people. Instead, you return to yourself. When your trust is rooted in yourself, people can't shake you anymore. Their lies don't touch your heart. Their silence doesn't make you question your value. Their absence doesn't leave you broken, because you're no longer depending on their behavior to feel whole. This is the power of inner clarity. It makes you gentle, but strong. It makes you loving, but not foolish. It makes you peaceful, but alert. You begin to move differently in the world. You smile, but you observe. You help, but you don't overextend. You connect, but you don't cling. You listen, but you don't absorb everything blindly. You've built a space within yourself that is honest, safe, and still. And no matter what chaos is outside, that space stays untouched. So when someone asks you, whom do you trust? You can say, I trust myself first. And from that place of inner trust, you'll start to meet people who reflect the same. Not because you're lucky, but because clarity attracts clarity. Keep watching. The journey doesn't end here. It gets deeper from here. Letting go of naivety, becoming emotionally mature. In the quiet moments, when a world slows down, the heart begins to see what the mind often misses. You have lived long enough to learn that trust, like water, can both nourish and drown. To be naive is to drink without knowing the depth of the well. To be emotionally mature is to understand the well's depth before taking a sip. Many come to me, burdened with pain from misplaced trust. They ask, Zen Master, why do I always get hurt when I trust? It is because the heart was young and the world older. The heart wanted to believe in the goodness of others, but the world moves in shadows as much as in light. This is not a curse. It is the path of awakening. Emotional maturity is the art of balancing hope with wisdom. It is not closing the heart, but guarding it with awareness. It is not expecting perfection from others, but learning to see their true nature without the rose-colored glasses of naivety. When a child trusts blindly, they open their entire world without hesitation. That is innocence. But the adult learns slowly. Experience carves the path. Each broken promise, each betrayal is like a stone on the path. They may hurt the feet, but they also teach where not to step again. Letting go of naivety means embracing reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. It means no longer mistaking appearances for truth. It means looking at a person, not just with your eyes, but with your heart's quiet discernment. The Buddha taught us the middle way. Neither blind trust nor complete suspicion, but a gentle, steady vigilance. Imagine a lotus flower. It grows from the muddy water, untouched by the dirt. Like the lotus, your heart must rise above the mud of naivety and fear. How do you become emotionally mature? It begins with self-awareness. Notice how your trust forms. Is it from hope, from fear of loneliness, or from true understanding of the other's nature? When you recognize your own motives, you start to build trust wisely. Next, Practice patience. Trust does not rush. It grows slowly, like the roots of a tree. Water the relationship with kindness, but watch how it responds. Does the other person show respect for your heart? Do their actions align with their words? Do not confuse desire for trust with trust itself. Sometimes the heart wants to trust because it fears being alone, but trusting for the wrong reasons leads only to pain. True trust grows from calm observation and inner peace. Remember, emotional maturity is also about forgiving yourself. If you trusted someone who betrayed you, do not blame yourself harshly. The wise do not scold the past, but learn from it. Each experience is a teacher, and every pain has its lesson. When you let go of naivety, you're not closing your heart. You're opening it wider, but with eyes open, seeing clearly. This kind of love and trust is stronger than blind faith. It is peaceful, steady, and free. In the journey to emotional maturity, loneliness could be a great friend. When you learn to be comfortable alone, you stop needing others to fill your emptiness. This independence makes your trust genuine because it is a choice, not a necessity. Do not fear letting go of illusions about people. The truth may sting at first, but it also frees. Like a bird that learns to fly after leaving the nest, you will soar higher when you release naive expectations. One who is emotionally mature understands that no one can complete you. Trust is not a way to fix your loneliness or fear. It is a gentle offering from one whole being to another. And when it is given with awareness, it rarely breaks. Practice mindfulness in your relationships. Watch your feelings closely. When you sense doubt, do not ignore it. Doubt is not the enemy. It is a signpost directing you to look deeper. At the same time, do not live in constant suspicion. Balance your mind like the calm surface of a lake. See clearly, but do not be disturbed by every ripple. Some things are beyond control, and acceptance is part of maturity. Learn also to speak your truth kindly. If you feel hurt or unsure, express it with calm words. Emotional maturity means taking responsibility for your feelings without blaming others. The Buddhist said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." When you build your peace first, you create a strong foundation for trust that others can meet. If your foundation is shaky, even the kindest person can shake your heart. In time, you will see that some people deserve your trust and others do not. But this is not a judgment to harm or hate. It is a clear understanding that protects your spirit. Sometimes, emotionally mature trust means walking away. It is not failure, but courage. To leave a harmful relationship is to honor your own life and growth. You will find that letting go of naive trust also opens space for compassion. You understand why people act as they do, their own pain, fear, and confusion. But compassion does not mean sacrificing your well-being. Every step you take toward emotional maturity is a step toward freedom. Freedom from being hurt by every broken promise. Freedom from clinging to illusions. Freedom to love without fear. Remember this, trust is a gift, not a right. It must be earned and given with care. When you treat trust like this, your heart becomes a sacred place, not easily entered, but full of peace for those who are worthy. Do not rush this journey. It takes time and gentle practice. Be patient with yourself and others. Like a tree that grows slowly through the seasons, your emotional maturity will blossom in its own perfect time. One day, you will look back and see how far you have come. The wounds will heal, and your heart will shine with the quiet strength of one who has truly awakened. This is the way of the Zen Master, to be clear, calm, and wise in a world full of shadows. To trust wisely, love deeply, and live freely. Protecting peace, Buddhist boundaries in a distrustful world. In this world, peace is rare. Everyone is busy. Everyone is rushing. People smile, but their hearts are not calm. Words are spoken, but truth is missing. In such a world, how can you protect your peace? How can you keep your inner silence untouched? The answer is simple, but not easy. You must learn to set boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are not anger. Boundaries are clarity. When you don't set boundaries, people walk over you. They misuse your kindness. They take your silence as weakness. They use your good heart and then leave you empty. The Buddha never said to run away from people, but he did say, associate with the wise. Stay away from the foolish. Why? Because foolishness is not just about ignorance. It's about behavior that disturbs your inner peace. Now listen carefully. If someone always complains, lies, or gossips, your mind absorbs their energy. If someone always brings drama and chaos, slowly, your calmness starts shaking. This is not your fault. This is how energy works. In Buddhism, the mind is like water. If you keep throwing stones in it, it will never be still. If people keep throwing their problems, lies, and emotions into your mind, how can you expect to stay peaceful? So what can you do? You can choose silence. You can choose distance. You can choose clarity, this much and no more. Yes, it's hard, especially when the person is close, maybe family, maybe friend, maybe someone you once trusted deeply. But remember, the first person you must be loyal to is yourself. Ask yourself, what kind of people make you feel heavy, confused, or anxious? Now ask again, why are you still letting them stay so close? Setting boundaries doesn't mean shouting or fighting. It means deciding calmly what is allowed in your space and what is not. Let me give you an example. There was a monk, very calm, very wise. One day, a man came and shouted at him. He insulted him with all kinds of words, but the monk just smiled and said nothing. Later, someone asked, "Why didn't you respond?" The monk replied, "If someone offers me a gift and I don't accept it, who does it belong to?" This is the power of boundaries. You don't have to accept every word. You don't have to react to every action. You don't have to let every person walk into your mental space. Buddhism teaches, protect your mind like a sacred temple. Not everyone is allowed to enter. Only those who remove their shoes of ego, their dust of judgment, their baggage of hate, only they may come in peace. But we often fear this. We fear that people will leave us if we set limits. So we say yes when we want to say no. We laugh when we want silence. We go along when we want to pause. And slowly, we forget who we are. We lose ourselves. The Zen way is different. In Zen, the true strength is in not reacting. The strength is in not giving your energy to things that don't deserve it. It is said, the tree does not chase the bird that flies away. It simply continues growing. Let them go. Not with hate, with understanding. Not with blame, with peace. If someone cannot respect your space, your silence, your truth, they're not meant to stay in your close circle. This doesn't mean you hate them. It means you are wise. A wise person sees clearly, not through the eyes, but through the heart. And when you start seeing with the heart, you will feel what is heavy and what is light. What feels clean and what feels messy. What brings you closer to peace and what pulls you away from it. Now, maybe you are thinking, but I live with these people. I cannot leave them. Yes, that's true for many. So what can you do? You create inner boundaries. Maybe you cannot stop someone from speaking nonsense, but you can stop your mind from attaching to it. Maybe you cannot stop someone from being angry, but you can stop your peace from burning in their fire. You can walk away. You can stay quiet. You can breathe. You can forgive, but not forget the lesson. Remember this, forgiveness is freedom, but forgetting a lesson is blindness. The Buddha himself faced criticism. People tried to trap him in arguments. They tested his patience, but he always stayed calm, like a still pond. That's why his presence healed others. Because it didn't matter what happened outside. Inside, he was untouchable. You can be the same. You don't need to explain your boundaries to everyone. You don't need to justify your peace. Let your actions speak. Let your silence become your answer. Slowly, people will understand. And if they don't, let them go. Better to walk alone with truth than walk with many in illusion. Protecting peace is a daily practice. It is not done once. It is done every day, through small choices, through gentle awareness, through deep breaths. This path is not easy, but it is beautiful. Because once you taste real peace, you will never want to trade it for drama, for chaos, or for fake relationships again. And this is the true power of boundaries. Not made of stone, but made of wisdom. Not cold, but clear. Not harsh, but healing. And through this, you don't just protect your peace. You become peace itself, learning from pain, turning betrayal into awakening. So, you were hurt. Someone you trusted turned their back on you. Maybe they lied. Maybe they used you. Maybe they left without a word. And now you sit alone wondering why, wondering what went wrong, wondering if it was your fault. I know. It hurts. I know. But listen carefully. This pain you feel, it can destroy you, or it can wake you up. When someone betrays us, the pain doesn't only come from their action. It comes from our expectation. We expected loyalty. We expected kindness. We expected that they would care, that they would stay. And when they don't, the world suddenly feels unsafe. But you must understand, betrayal is not the end. It's a door, a strange door, one that's hidden in the shadows of your pain. And when you open it, you begin to see things you never saw before. You begin to see people more clearly. You begin to see your own patterns. You begin to see how often you gave too much, too fast. You begin to see how much you believed in illusions. And most importantly, you begin to see yourself. Betrayal teaches us what no sweet word ever can. It shows us who is real and who only pretended. It reveals where we were blind and where we must now keep our eyes open. In Buddhism, pain is not an enemy. Pain is a mirror. When someone hurts us, the mirror gets sharper. It reflects our attachments. It reflects our hopes. It reflects the parts of ourselves we tried to ignore. That reflection, though painful, is the beginning of awakening. The Buddha said, just as a lotus grows from the mud, wisdom rises from suffering. You don't have to hate the one who hurt you. That hate will burn your hands before it ever touches them. You don't even need to forget what they did. But you must learn, because if you don't learn, you will trust the same kind of person again, and again, and again. Let this pain teach you what your comfort never did. Think about fire. Fire burns, but when you understand it, you can use it to cook food, warm your home, and give light. But if you touch it without knowing, it only burns. Pain is the same. When you don't understand it, it destroys you. When you do, it transforms you. Many people fall into two traps after betrayal. The first trap is closing the heart completely. I will never trust again. But that only builds walls. And walls don't just keep pain out, they also keep joy out. The second trap is going back to the same person again and again, hoping they'll change. But people rarely change just because you want them to. They change when they see for themselves. And not everyone sees. So what should you do? You must walk the middle path. Don't close your heart, but don't hand it to anyone carelessly. Don't become cold, but don't become foolish. Don't seek revenge, but don't repeat the same mistake. This middle path is the way of wisdom. It doesn't happen overnight. But every time you sit quietly and reflect, every time you observe instead of react, every time you choose peace over proving a point, you are walking it. A Zen story tells of a student who came to his master crying. "My friend has betrayed me," he said. "I shared everything with him, and he used it against me." The master smiled gently and said, "You gave your treasure before you tested his hands." "Then I was wrong?" asked the student. The master shook his head. "No, you are innocent. But now be wise. Innocence is not lost. It simply becomes clearer. You see, trusting others is not the problem. Trusting without awareness is. Start noticing how people behave when you have nothing to offer. Start observing how they talk about others in your presence. Start feeling your own body when you're around them. Do you feel calm or tense? Your body knows before your mind does. If someone lies to others in front of you, they will lie to you behind your back. If someone laughs at someone's pain, they will one day laugh at yours. If someone flatters you too much too soon, pause. There might be a trap behind the praise. These are not harsh words. These are reminders, so that you don't suffer more than you need to. Buddhism teaches us to build a relationship with awareness before any relationship with others. Because when you are aware, you don't get fooled easily. When you are calm, you don't attract chaos. When you are present, you notice what others miss. So next time someone hurts you, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What can I learn?" Ask, "What did I ignore?" Ask, "How can I grow from this?" This shift in thinking is powerful. It moves you from being a victim to becoming a student of life, a very wise student. And once you learn, you forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you do. You forgive to release the weight from your own shoulders. You forgive to sleep peacefully at night. You forgive to make space for better people, for deeper connections, for real trust. Yes, you are hurt, but now you're waking up. Let pain become your teacher. Let silence become your strength. Let betrayal become the start of something new. There is light after the wound. There is wisdom after the fall. And there is a version of you waiting, stronger, softer, wiser, and finally free. Breathe, let go, learn, and move forward. This is how awakening begins. Freedom through detachment, the end of blind trust. Listen closely, my dear one. You have walked far on this path. You have felt the pain of broken trust. You have cried in silence, wondering why people change so easily. You have asked, why do they lie? Why do they leave when I need them the most? But now, it is time to stop asking others. It is time to start looking within. Blind trust is like walking in a dark forest with your eyes closed. You might survive for a while, but eventually, you'll hit a tree, fall into a hole, or get lost. So what is the way out? The answer is simple: detach. Now, don't be afraid of this word. Detachment does not mean running away. It doesn't mean becoming cold or unkind. It simply means you stop holding on so tightly to people, ideas, or hopes. You stop expecting others to fill your cup. You stop giving your heart to hands that do not know how to hold it. In this life, everything changes. People come and go. Words are spoken, then forgotten. Promises are made, then broken. But if your peace depends on these things, you will suffer again and again. The Buddha never said, don't love. He said, love wisely. He didn't say, don't trust. He said, trust mindfully. The problem is not that you trust. The problem is that you trust without understanding. So how can you live in this world without getting hurt again and again? You must learn the art of seeing clearly without attachment. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Not because you judge them, but because you accept reality as it is. When someone lies to you, don't try to fix them, just step back. When someone plays with your feelings, don't beg for love, just walk away peacefully. This is freedom, not the freedom to control others, but the freedom to control your response. You must remember, people are not always what they seem. A soft voice can hide sharp intentions. A gentle face can carry a heavy mask. But when you are detached, you don't get fooled. You see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. Many people confuse attachment with love. But true love is not heavy. It doesn't cling. It gives space, breathes, allows. If someone truly values you, they will stay even when you don't chase them. But if someone leaves when you stop begging, they were never yours in the first place. Stop holding on to people who make you feel unsafe. Stop trusting people just because they say nice words. Start watching their actions. Start listening to the silence between their words. That is where the truth lives. You don't need to become suspicious. Just become still. Still like a mountain. Still like a quiet pond. When your mind is calm, you can see clearly. You don't need proof. You don't need explanations. The heart knows. When trust breaks, many people become bitter. They close their hearts. They think no one is good in this world. But that is not wisdom. That is pain speaking. A wise person stays open, but careful. Soft, but not foolish. Loving, but not desperate. Detachment brings peace. It allows you to give without fear. It helps you love without needing. It makes you strong, not because nothing can hurt you, but because nothing can shake you. Remember this. People will say many things to win your heart, but the one who truly deserves it will never need to. Their actions will speak. Their presence will feel like home, and you won't have to chase them. So what do you do now? You keep walking. You keep observing. You keep living, not in fear, but in awareness. Let people reveal themselves and believe them the first time. Not with anger, but with peace. You don't owe anyone blind trust. You don't owe anyone your tears. You owe yourself your own protection. The more you detach from false hope, the more room you make for real peace. The more you let go of what's not real, the more clearly you see what is. Trust, when it grows from truth, is beautiful. But trust that grows from desperation will always disappoint. So stop asking, "Can I trust this person?" Ask instead, "Have they earned it?" That question alone can save you years of pain. Let go gently. Breathe deeply. Watch quietly. You are not here to be used. You are not here to be fooled. You are here to awaken fully. And now you are. This is not the end of trust. This is the beginning of true trust. Not in people's words, but in your own awareness. Not in what others say, but in what you clearly see. This is the freedom you are searching for, and it was always within you. Awaken trust, rebuilding from wisdom, not wounds. Sit down, my dear friend. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart breathe. This is the last part of our journey together. You've come far. You've listened deeply. You felt the pain. And now, it is time to understand something beautiful. Not about others, but about yourself. You see, all your life, you wanted to trust. You looked for honesty in the eyes of others. You gave your heart, your time, your loyalty. And often you got hurt. Maybe once. Maybe again. Maybe so many times that you began to think, "I will never trust again." But I ask you today, must we stop trusting completely? Or must we learn to trust differently? This is not a world of angels, nor is it a world of monsters. It is a world of humans. Imperfect, changing, full of stories. Some people wear a smile, but carry knives. Others carry silence, but a heart full of gold. You cannot judge them quickly. And that is why trust must be like a slow river, not a storm. Many people say, trust must be earned. Yes, but what they don't say is, I must learn how to see who earns it. And that is where the real wisdom begins. When the Buddha was alive, he never said, "Trust me blindly." He said, "Try, test, see it for yourself. If it helps, follow it. If it harms, leave it." He gave his teachings like food on a table, not forced, not demanded, only offered. And this is how you must treat your trust. Like a gift on the table, not thrown at everyone, not held back with fear, but offered with awareness. Let me tell you a short story. There was a monk in a small village. He was kind. Everyone loved him. But one day, someone spread a lie about him. People turned away. They whispered. They doubted. Yet he didn't argue. He didn't cry. He only smiled and continued his work. When someone asked him, "Why do you still trust people after what they did?" he said, "I trust the truth. People may change, but truth always returns. I walk with the truth, not with people's words." This is awakened trust. It is not built on people. It is built on your understanding. It is not about never being hurt. It is about knowing how to rise again. If someone hurts you, don't rush to call all people bad. Take your time. Feel your emotions. But don't let that pain become your personality. Awakened trust means, I trust myself to see clearly. I trust my heart to heal. I trust life to show me what is hidden. And I trust time to reveal who belongs and who does not. You don't need to explain your silence. You don't need to prove your pain. Just observe. Watch how people behave when they don't need you. Watch what they do when they think you're not watching. That is where the truth hides. And in all of this, don't lose your softness. You can be wise, but still gentle. You can be careful, but still kind. You can protect your peace without closing your heart. If someone walks away, let them. Don't chase. Don't beg. Let their absence teach you what their presence couldn't. If someone returns, don't open the door too quickly. Let them knock. Let them wait. Let them show that they understand what they broke. Trust is not a gift for everyone. It is a treasure, and you are its guardian. Now, let's talk about trust in yourself. Sometimes, we don't just lose trust in people, we lose it in ourselves. We say, "How can I be so foolish? Why didn't I see the signs? Why do I always end up in the same pain?" But don't be harsh. You trusted because your heart was open. That is not a weakness. It is a beautiful thing. The mistake was not in loving. The mistake was in not listening to your inner voice when it warned you. Buddhism teaches suffering is the teacher. Every pain leaves a mark, yes, but it also leaves a lesson. You are not foolish. You are learning. So from today, take your power back. Trust slowly. Speak gently. Observe deeply. Walk calmly. Don't live in fear. Don't say, "I will never trust again." Say instead, now I trust with wisdom. And remember, my friend, there is something more powerful than being trusted. It is being trustworthy. You become that. Be the person who listens without gossip, helps without motive, loves without drama, speaks without lies. People may or may not see your light, but you shine anyway, because trust that comes from within never fades. And with this, our journey ends. But the real walk begins in your everyday life, in your silent choices, in your calm strength. Before you go, this is Wisdom Woven, and we've shared 240 small doors to wisdom with you in this series. If any one of them opened your heart, gave you peace, or made you feel understood, please support us. There are thousands of views on our channel, but only 0.2% people subscribe. We truly need your support to grow and reach others who are silently suffering. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your one click matters more than you think. Stay awake, stay kind, and remember, not everyone deserves your trust, but you always deserve your own. Breathe in, breathe out, and keep walking the peaceful path. We bow to your journey.